right, welcome back. Avenged Sevenfold over on Patreon. A little piece of heaven. It got it was interesting and complicated, but it was a coworker. It was like, hey, you should check that one out, and I did, and it got fully blocked. Now I did put it up there for everyone, but we got M.I.A. I have the lyrics up in the background. I did a little perusing of them, and this will. This could get good. Avenged Sevenfold off City of Evil. M.I.A.
Staring at the carnage, praying that the sun would never rise. Living another day in disguise. These feelings can't be right. Lend me your courage to stand up and fight. Oh, tonight. Stand up and fight. The fighting rages on and on. To challenge me, you must be strong. I walk your land, but don't be long. 2 million soldiers can't be wrong.
Oh. Yeah, I think they're going to get complicated because, 2 million people could be wrong. It only takes one to object to an immoral order to start your own personal path. But the channel has talked about these subjects for a long time, so we're definitely going to get into following immoral orders. If taking a life is wrong, then you should have never felt. I just watched Hacksaw Ridge again, and it's a perfect example. Hollywood probably changed some stuff, made it more heroic. I don't know, but they interviewed him at the end, and I guess there was an option that it's not mandatory to follow along with the mob and just kill. You can say no to immoral orders. That is the first step of breaking the chains that bind us. Or you can just learn, get shipped home in a bag.
You land, but don't be long. 2 million soldiers can't be wrong. It's now run, but I've been here before. I'm far from home and I'm fighting your war. Not the way I pictured this. I wanted better things. Some are scared, others killing for fun. I shot a mother right in front of her son.
That's heavy. And we just watched, we were watching Jack Reacher, Tom Cruise. Not the series, but the Tom Cruise one, the first one. And it talks about it, and I'm assuming it's dialogue from the book. And it's, giving the reasons. There's people who needed a job. There's generational enlistment because your father's was in the Corps. You're going to be in the Corps too. I think there's the sentence there by the system back in the day. Enlist and we won't send you to jail. And then that blends into the group that's there to kill. And we started out our day with Webby, and some of the same topics were over there, except that would be normies being pushed into a corner and having to respond to defend themselves. Not, I am a order following useful idiot and I will just kill whoever I'm told to kill. That's where the hearts and minds of nationalism, patriotism all come together to create something horrible. The destructive power of those ideas and ideologies versus the constructive power. It's you don't get to destroy it then rebuild it in your own image. That's been a bad game plan. But yeah, I think the problem is there's too many psychopaths. There's too many pyromaniacs in the fire department. We'll go back a little bit because I'm stomping all over it. But, you fight for honor, fight for your life. Pray to God that our side is right. That comes up on the channel all the time, too. Now, I don't think the subject matter is going to go away, so we should be able to have an honest discussion about it, right? Or whatever version of honest this arena can create. There's the biggest problem. Everybody, the justifications or reasonings, and then I'm now starting to think that history is so skewed that we're only allowed the mainstream narrative. And this M.I.A. from Avenged Sevenfold off City of Evil comes together on 9/11 for me. That's today. And oh yeah, no, it was part of the whole cornerstone, the whole reason to push record today. And if you're falsely leading ideas that can base themselves on ideas like whatever we say is the truth, you're not allowed to look at the evidence, then, your generational enlistment or your desire to save the country is probably skewed, unfortunately. That you were swept up in a hearts and minds moment and decided to go do what you felt was right when it was never right in the first place. Never ask the right questions because those questions get in the way of the military-industrial complex doing something. And here's, I think, a pretty good example of ode to what the military-industrial complex has created, but humans endure. I shot a mother right in front of the sun. Take us from my consciousness and please erase my dream. Fight for honor, fight for your life. Pray to God that our side is right. No, we won, I still may lose until I make it home to you. I see your mother's filled with tears. Grew up so fast, where did those years go? Memories won't let you cry unless I don't return tonight. So many soldiers on the other side. I take the lives so they can't take mine. Scared to make it out alive now. Murder's all I know. Nobody tells me all the reasons we're here. I have my weapon, so there's nothing to fear. Another day, another life, but nothing real to show. Well, that section there, so many soldiers on the other side to take their lives so they can't take mine. Scared to make it out alive now. Murder's all I know. Nobody tells me all the reasons we're here. I just saying it's in my rant. What I'm ranting about is in the lyrical content of the damn song. So I'm positive that's one of those group conversations. Like I hate to be an a-hole, but I mean I don't really want to deal with another person's problems from somewhere else when we have so many problems of our. the vet situation, I think, is actually could use attention. I'd rather hear from 100, 10,000 homeless vets and discarded order followers. I'm not trying to be cruel, but I mean, unfortunately, you get swept up in it. And then when you're forgotten later, you wonder why. Well, that's because you were swept up in a lie. That the hearts and minds bullshit convinced you that they were on your side when you were fodder. You were, here, I have my weapon, so there's nothing to fear. You're just the flesh bot controlling their equipment. They're more worried about their equipment than getting another flesh bot to stick in the control seat. And until we deal with the ramifications of the broken individuals that these ideas create, they're never going to stop.
So fast, where did those years go? Memories will let you cry unless I don't return tonight. Staring at the gun, it's praying that the sun would never rise. Living another day in disguise. the city lonely, memories that are now passing by. A murderer walks your streets tonight. Forgive me for my crimes. Don't forget that I was so young, but so scared in the name of God and
Cool. Interesting, the outro solo there. The kind of mood, really. Now, this last bit, I walk the city lonely, memories that haunt our passing by. A murderer walks your streets tonight. Forgive me for my crimes. Don't forget I was so young, fought so scared in the name of God and country. And I wonder, is this why? Is this why we are harsh to vets outside of the heroic Hollywood take on it all, because we treat crimes of passion very harshly. Lock someone up for life, and that moment was probably the only moment, and sometimes, because, boy, this debate gets complicated, but people love thinking that if someone was abused, they should get to rectify that abuse, and they usually culminates in, a crime of passion, which we bank on super hard. They're going to upplay the father's, loss or this and that versus the abuse. And unless it's so complicated. But do we forget? Because looking at what they had to do to win the day, this comes up in Australian interactions sometimes with the whole so it's come up with about like the loss of life and heroicism versus the horror, and there's all sides. There's that Hollywood version. There's this you're left broken and beaten version. And I'm just wondering if one of the reasons it ends up so poorly for the ones who rose to the occasion is because of what had to be done. And I mean, it's not natural, right? Just because someone gives you permission, don't make it morally right, right? The haunting inside oneself has to be lifelong, right? So very wow. Now that was that was Avenged Sevenfold, Soft City of Evil, M.I.A. And not the crazy ass reaction that A Little Piece of Heaven was. And there was some stuff in there. I got a comment over on Patreon, and the phallic symbol in hell was like almost over the top. The whole thing was we noticed the whole thing was insane. The video, but they weren't letting me put it up on YouTube at all. So like I said, it's over for everyone on Patreon. This I think we're gonna wrap it up with this. That was cool. M.I.A. Avenged Sevenfold. Well, it was thought-provoking and opinion-filled. Who knew that's what happens here? Later.